Ready to improve your volleys? Yeah, you are. Let's jump into it. So today what we're talking about is relaxing and how much tension you should have during your volleys, whether a forehand or a backhand. In a recent clinic with the Bryan brothers, they talked about this. We're going to show you that clip here in just a moment. But what we want to really emphasize here is that when you're at net, don't set up super stiff, right? I think a lot of times we start holding the racket really tight because we're kind of bracing for impact, and that's only going to take away from the performance of your volleys. A lot of times what you'll see is that the Bryan brothers, when they were playing, when they were competing at the highest level, and even today when they're still getting out in practice and whatnot, a lot of times they're not even necessarily bringing the hands together in the starting phase. They're here and then working the hands up together. They're staying super loose and they're ready to absorb impact, right? So like if somebody's cranking a ball, you react fast by staying loose. So keeping the shoulders dropped. I think that's one of the biggest things that you can be aware of is what is going on with your shoulders. If your shoulders are up, right, too much tension, relax, let go. And then be aware of what your hand is doing. How much tension do you have in the hand, right? But we really want to have these really fast feet and then stay loose so that we can react with the hands. Now for you advanced players, Mike talks about what he's actually doing with his hand, right?
One last little technical thing is don't grip it too tight. When pressure hits, usually people grip it too tight, but you saw that last volley I hit? I can crush the volley because I got a lot of kind of leeway here in the hand, and I could get some more magic and stick here with not a huge swing. So I would only hold it probably 30% to the max, maybe 20% to the max. And you're just way more softer in the hand, so you have more talent on low ones. You get better reach. It's just way better. It'll make you looser. It'll make you actually handle pressure when you're not gripping it so tight.
And then we're down here. We have a little bit of hand showing on the very bottom of the handle. There's one or two of you that are maybe choked up a little bit too much. We like to teach here. I don't know, what do you guys like to teach on the grip?
It's personal preference at the rec level, but there's definitely more stability if your butt cap's hanging a little bit.
Yeah. And we kind of cringed because most of the players in this clinic were, we had 1.45, but most of them were somewhere between a 3.5 and 4.0 level. And we don't, at that level, I think a lot of players are thinking keep it loose and kind of smack at the ball. So you start thinking smashing volleys and then suddenly it's looking like this, you're swinging, right? That's not what Mike is talking about. Everything is about really working through the legs and keeping the hands in front and just working through the motion here. Now, when you're thinking about this, and again, this is high level. Don't go out there and try this if you're not playing, maybe a former collegiate player playing at a 4.5, 5.0 level above. I think this is not what we would encourage if you're trying to figure out the proper joint position and whatnot for the volley. But for you advanced players, what you really want to think about is staying relaxed through the top part of your hand, right? Like up through here, through the V of my hand, and then allowing the racket to lay back to where your wrist is kind of hinged, laid back, and then squeezing these bottom two fingers to give it this bite. And you'll be impressed with how much you can actually lace the ball. Mike was doing it on low balls, high balls, just absolutely destroying it. But as a reminder, he's a professional athlete and the greatest. Him and his brother were the two greatest doubles players to ever play the game. But regardless of what level you're playing at, keeping the body loose is super, super, super important. So get out there, stay loose, work through the volleys, and I think you'll see a huge improvement in your net game. Hope today's tip helped. I'll see you next time.